if you want to hear the corporate spin, the carefully crafted lies, and the media myths, the Democrats are holding their convention next week. Go there. The Republican Party, the party of Abraham Lincoln, goes forward united, determined, and ready to welcome millions of Democrats, independents, and anyone who believes in the greatness of America and the righteous heart of the American people.
Welcome back to America Decides. Sound bites from Republican conventions past. First one, 2016 in Cleveland, former President Trump, then the nominee. And also in 2020, a much quieter convention because it wasn't in person largely because of COVID, talking about unity. So what can we expect to hear from former president tonight? Well, Danielle Alvarez, I hope she has an answer to that. She's a senior advisor for the Trump campaign. And Danielle, if you don't have an answer, I don't know who would.
Well, President Trump certainly would, because
Yes.
he, as he said himself, tore up his speech after the failed assassination attempt.
Why?
He really wanted to meet the moment. It was a different speech. This speech will have similarities in the sense that he will still talk about record. This election is about these two men's record. But this speech he wrote personally. He poured into. He was making final edits up until, just the walkthroughs and the rehearsals today. And it will be very personal. It will be from the heart. And it will meet the moment. It will call for the unity that the nation needs.
And when you say the moment, what is the moment? What is the moment after the tragic events, near tragic for former President Trump, tragic indeed for the Corey Carpatore family and the two other wounded victims? What is the moment?
You know, the president, I was so impressed when everything was happening in Butler, and he had the wherewithal to think outside of himself, to be the leader that I, who works for him, knows him to be, that America knows him to be, when he was in the White House for 4 years. And he stopped and he told the crowd, I'm okay, and let's fight. That's the moment. It's the energy that we feel right here in this arena every night that the president has walked out through those halls and into this auditorium. That's the moment. It's the need that the American people have for true leadership. When Democrats are in disarray, when they have no idea who will be at the top of their ticket, when they have an absolute failed record, President Trump has a winning record, a record of success, and a plan to turn this country around. And he's the leader that we need in this moment. That is the moment that President Trump will meet tonight and as we head into November.
Did you read the speech drafted before Butler, Pennsylvania?
I've read excerpts of both speeches, and again, what I can tell you is that it's deeply personal. His entire family will be in the Friends and Family box this evening. Former First Lady Melania Trump will be in that Friends and Family box. And this is a very heartfelt speech, a very personal speech that he has put together.
How much will Joe Biden factor into tonight's speech? Because if I hear you, Danielle, it's less personal, maybe less aggressively partisan. Is that a fair read?
It will be about record. We will certainly talk about the issues that matter to Americans, but Biden by name will not be mentioned.
Biden by name will not be mentioned.
Yes,
How
sir.
about Kamala Harris?
I have read excerpts, and I can definitely say that Biden by name will not be mentioned.
Interesting. Do you have a sense, Danielle, within the campaign about what the next week or so is going to be for President Biden and his campaign, and do you care?
This entire campaign has been very unpredictable.
Agreed. Fact check true.
From the early moments, to the weaponization of the justice system, to the New York court cases, it has been absolutely unpredictable to the way that he historically rewrote the platform from a 60-page document to a 15-page document, from the VP announcement. So if I tried to predict what might come next.
Let me simplify it. Does the orientation of the messaging or the approach geographically change in any way if it's Kamala Harris or Joe Biden?
Well, we have to figure out what's happening. I mean, rumor is right now that he may drop out of the race this weekend. The first question that comes to mind is, if he can't run a campaign, how could Joe Biden run a country? If it is Kamala Harris, she owns the open border. She's the original border czar. She owns the lie of the last 3.5 years of Joe Biden's cognitive decline. She owns every failure that is Joe Biden because it is the Biden-Harris ticket. And so we're focused on our race. We're focused on running our own race, on the president's strengths, on his record. He is, as I tell everyone, the best asset that we have, because he's not only the leader of this campaign in the Republican Party, but he's the leader that the nation's looking for.
Danielle Alvarez, thank you so much. I appreciate the time.